And we're live, Random Radio. And we're live, Random Radio. Joe G here. Uh, we're live, Random Radio. Joe G here. And you're listening to the greatest show, my show. Got some energy drink. Got some got some news for you. Here's something newsworthy. A broke family moves into a Home Depot shed, then resells for a huge profit. A family down in luck had to ditch a 2,000 square foot home and move into a Home Depot shed. They converted the shed into a small 800 square foot home, then resold it for a huge profit once they recovered. Tough financial times forces family to give up their home. For American families, it's been what the hell? What the hell? For families, it has been one strike after another. First, the pandemic, then soaring gas and food prices brought on by inflation. For a Georgia couple, as their finances began to gear into trouble, the only option became giving up a 2,000 square foot home in Cumming, Georgia, about 20 miles northeast of Atlanta. Nick Lucido and his wife Megan told the New York Post, "We never missed a mortgage payment." Nick went on to say they were both young professionals with two brand new cars, he adds. We were just over our head in debt. That's when the idea of converting a Home Depot shed into a tiny home struck the couple. YouTube is filled with videos of people who creatively converted sheds, including larger two-story models, as well as so-called barn dominiums into amazing homes. With many of these, if you weren't told beforehand, you would never realize that this was a home that had been converted from a shed. Family moves into Home Depot shed. The couple purchased some land spanning 8.46 acres for $40,000. Next, they went to Home Depot and looked at sheds. We saw a two-story shed in a Home Depot parking lot, Nick recalled, and said, I think we can make that work. The couple then purchased an 860 square foot two-story shed and began the process of building a block foundation on their land, assembling the shed, installing electrical and plumbing, then the work of transforming the interior. While the home was being built, they lived in a camper and trailer. And that's it. That's it? This news station is not going right. Oh. And it installed TikTok now. It's installing stuff for free. I wonder why it keeps doing that. It's installing more stuff. This stuff makes more stuff. This funky shadow is making me crazy. Where's the sun? Hello, sun. Good day. I just want to say that it's a beautiful day, and I want to tell you much love. I love you. Gunmen storm hotel in Somali capital. And now it's shaking. Seal busts into home through pet flap and temporary house family. I want to talk about this goose seal. News break, it's a NASA sink to its door. I cannot see this straight. It makes me want to go back to sleep. This is crazy. This is crazy. I can't even do the news today. My name is Colonel George. And I am from Juneau Air. Do you know how I get there? Close. Close. Seal bus into home through pet flap and temporarily oust family cat. A bold young seal entered a marine biologist's house and spent some time on the couch before it was returned to the sea. That's so cute. I love it when that happens. A New Zealand cat was not flippin' happy after an uninvited seal entered her home through the pet flap in the door. Phil Ross of Mount Mongantoi told The Guardian that his family found a young seal inside their house Wednesday morning, exploring different rooms and lounging on the couch. Ross was considered coincidentally a marine biologist, was not home when the seal was discovered. His wife, Jen, had left for about an hour to go to the gym and stumbled across the surprising visitor when she came back. The big joke is that this is really the only family emergency where it would be useful to have a marine biologist in the house, Ross told The Guardian. I really miss my time to shine. It's not totally clear why the seal went inside, but Ross suspects it would be. Stop. I'm reading. It's moving the page down. It's not totally clear why the seal went inside, but Ross suspects that his cat Coco was outside and attempted to defend the home turf against the pinniped. What? A pinniped? Obviously, the seal wasn't as intimidated as some dogs are. Coco must have bolted around the side of the house into the cat flap, and the seal must have followed her, he said. The University of Waikato, where Ross works, shared photos of the ordeal on Facebook, including one showing the seal peeing around a corner and another of Coco in the incident's aftermath. The seal peed in the corner? No way. That is so cute. And look at the kitty cat. Hi, kitty cat. Hi. Are you my cat, Coco? I would see cat as my cat. Eugene C. Cat. Jen Ross shooed the seal outside, and a department conservation ranger arrived to catch the bald seal and release it back to the sea. As for Coco, she took some time to recover. Coco hid at the neighbor's house and wouldn't come home until the seal was gone, Ross told Fox television stations in an email. Then, for the next day, she wouldn't go downstairs where the seal was. We didn't see the seal cat interaction, but it was clearly something that Coco didn't enjoy. The intruding seal was in good condition and simply made a poor choice, he added. It is common for young seals to end up on unusual bits of coastline at this time of year, he told Fox TV stations. The young ones are starting to get weaned, going out on their own, and like most teenagers, they can make bad decisions about where they end up. I knew kids were wanting a new pet, Ross joked on his Facebook page, but this was definitely a step too far. Is that it? Democrats are using an old what? Looking on this thingy. I want to go enjoy the day. I want to take a walk. It's a beautiful day. I don't want to take a walk, get something to smoke. So it's just a beautiful day. I think I'm going to leave it live. Come in and talk. Sun's out. The sun's out. It's gorgeous. Oh, by the way, remember, don't rape, maim, or murder. Don't make others rape, maim, or murder. Don't commit cannibal or sins of the flesh. And don't make others do it such. This has been a random radio broadcast announcement. Beep. I want to go walk to the store. Hello. I still want to do a show. Oh, maybe I should leave it like this. A little bit more raised volume so you can hear me better. There's background noise. That is the air conditioner that we have. Oh no, I left my energy drink. Mm. See how much money I have left. $20. I have $100 left. Let's read this. It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. 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 Ha ha he he ha he ha he. This is a law. I'm not reading this. I should though, right? says the Democrats are using an old playbook to attack the Supreme Court and fracture the conservative coalition. Democrats have introduced a series of bills targeting the court on specific issues like abortion and changes to its makeup. Interesting. Interesting. What else you say? This is on the Huffington Post. Oh, the puppy. Let's read more of the puppy story. So, for those of you who are new, this is a story about a puppy that kept getting returned to the animal shelter, and every time they came, they gave a not unique, but a poor excuse for returning him. And I want to read this. Okay, it goes on to say it was also obvious that this consistent horrible cycle started to take its toll on the puppy that everyone at the shelter loved so much. They could just see the sparkle in his eyes and shine a little bit less every time he was put back into that case. It was heartbreaking. That is sad. Continue. Continue. Look at us go. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading. Uh-oh. What is this door? Okay, we're back. Sad dog. At this point, Benji was just sitting on the corner of his case looking sad. His 11th owner had finally given the shelter a turn reason theory that they actually believed. Benji just seemed not to trust him and just seemed unhappy overall. They would believe that all too well. Nature's Oxycontin pain relief, now legal in Ronkonkoma. What? Oh, look at the kitty cat. Look at the kitty cat. Look at the kitty cat. Hi, kitty cat. How the kitty cat's doing? Oh my gosh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Everyone at the shelter just felt like they needed to find a solution to this problem. They all cared so much about this dog. And luckily for him, the solution actually came from a trainee named Stacy, who had only been there for about 2 weeks. Falling in love with Benji, it says. She was studying to become a veterinarian and to train. She was volunteering at the shelter for 2 months. When Benji was returned by his most recent owner, the first time she laid eyes on the dog, she instantly fell head over heels in love with him. Yeah. Continue. Let us wait for it to load up as we go in slow motion. Come on, slow motion. Continue. Nope. Continue. Even though she had only seen a very sad version of Benji, the personnel who had been at the shelter no longer told her about how fun Benji had been before. They also told her the truth about Benji being returned 11 times for various reasons. Again, continue! We wait! We wait. Let's go. Oh, it's another thing for us to see. Breaking news brief. Tragedy for Paul Duncan. Doesn't say why. But this didn't disturb Stacey at all. Their loss. She remembers thinking about all the stupid previous owners that returned Benji to the shelter. She was determined to give the dog the life it so obviously deserved, but she had no idea yet what she was getting herself into. Continue again. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Load up. Let's go. Do a show. She did not. She did still need to convince her parents about getting a dog, as she was still living with them. She was afraid they wouldn't like the idea, but to her surprise, they were actually completely up for it. Apparently, with the prospect of Stacy moving out soon, they already actually had been thinking about getting a dog. Wow. And again, continuing, not continuation, continuing. Let's continue. This is going to take forever. All right, okay. The paperwork was made in order, and Stacey could take Benji home with her the very same day. For Benji, it was now the 12th time he was going through the same routine. He always seemed to be emotionless when he was let out of the cage. That's horrible. This dog needs a forever home. Nope. I don't want to go there. I want to go continue. On the ride home, Benji would not even look at Stacy. She knew there was a lot of work to do to get this poor dog to trust people again and get him back into the joyful and happy dog he had once been. Stacy was sure she could do it, but the confidence would quickly fade out. Again, let's continue. Sheesh. Dun, 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 dun. When Stacy came home with Benji, her parents were ready to welcome their new addition to the family. Stacy's father had already gone to the pet store to buy a new bed and bowl. They were very excited to take care of their new family member. And then what happened? He peed all over the place. What do you think he did to warrant getting dropped off so many times? You think he bit the owner? Think he peed everywhere? I don't know. Continue. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Luckily, the family already had a lot of the other dog equipment at the home, and Benji was not their first dog. He had They had three more already walking around the house, but the size did make Benji the runt of the pack. There was still something off. They couldn't explain what they felt, but Benji acted weird. Dot dot dot. Well, let's go to the next one. The family immediately noticed that Benji seemed to have trouble believing or interacting with the other dogs. He just kind of stayed in place and looked around a bit. It was as if Benji did not like being there, even though the family took really good care of Benji. They were still worried that they really tried their absolute best. The other dogs of the family, however, were not so reserved as they were let out of their room. They quickly started to check out the new friend, sniffing him like no tomorrow, and one even brought Benji a toy. Benji's attitude changed a little bit. Did he like the attention? I don't know. Let's go to the next page. Where's the cat? All the attention interaction seemed to cool Benji's cool demeanor a bit. He started to engage with the other dogs now. The family made sure to have the rest of the day dedicated to giving Benji the best time. That's all they could do in their eyes. To give Benji the attention he deserved, right? And we continue. It's 88%. Come on. Continue. They went to the park, to the store to pick out a new toy, and even baked a nice steak for Benji. A day in doggy heaven had a big effect on Benji. He was wagging his tail all day. Stacy seemed to enjoy the time with Benji just like the rest of the family. It seemed to like him as well. Would the feeling stay? Continue. I want to find out about this dog. Continue. Continue. Finally, it continues. This is from peopletoday.com. Within 24 hours, the family had already transformed him back into the happy, enthusiastic puppy he once was, and the family thought they would have a great addition to the family. But then, why was Benji returned so much? Was there something they had to find out? I don't know. Next couple of days went on fairly normal. Benji seemed to fit seamlessly into the family's daily routine. Oops, sorry. Stacy related all the info back to the shelter, and they were really happy with the progress. Then things started to change. Out of the blue, Benji was nowhere to be found. Next page, continue. This is too much. The suspense is killing me. Why was he returned, God? Why was he returned, Rara? When the family woke up one morning, Benji was suddenly not in bed anymore. They searched the whole house and there was no sign of him. Stacy started to panic. The shelter had trusted her with Benji and she let them down. What was going on? Did Benji run away or did something else happen? She decided not tell them, but instead took a week off so she could search for Benji, starting by asking all the neighbors if they had seen the puppy, but she had no luck. It really looked like Benji just disappeared into thin air. He was nowhere to be found. Stacy was extremely hurt by this. I would be too, Stacy, especially if I had to read it page by page. PeopleToday.com presents Benji the Disappearing Puppy. After a morning of asking and searching, Benji was still nowhere to be found. Nobody had seen him, apparently, so the next logical step was to put up posters. Stacy just hoped no one from the shelter would see them. She did not want to let them down after everything. Continue again. Come on, come on, come on. This is crazy. I wonder what happened to this poor little puppy. 2 more days passed. Benji was still gone. The family had put up posters all over the place, but it got zero response on it. They were coming to a point where Stacy felt she had no choice but to be honest with the shelter. She finally decided she was ready to call. Then something else happened. What else happened? What else happened? What? That's my dog impression. That's what a dog would say. Dougie. I like my kitty cats. I love my kitty cats. Continue, continue, continue. Finally, it continues. Do they make those buttons sticky on purpose? No, no, end the stream, Mouse. Mouse wants to end the stream. The phone rang. But then the phone finally rang. Someone had found Benji. The caller didn't want to see to tell them exactly where or how yet, but she sure did sound upset. Stacy was instantly on the edge of her feet. Adrenaline was rushing to her veins. What was going on with Benji? And of course we go to the next page. I gotta know. Gotta know. Okay, clueless. A very confused and anxious Stacy drove up to the man's house. It was almost an hour's drive away. How did Benji even manage to get this far from home? She was clueless about how Benji pulled this off. At the same time, she was curious as well what she would encounter. And of course, the next page. Let's go. Wow. The man that found him was waiting for Stacy at the front door. When she arrived, he was looking very agitated, standing there with his arms crossed. What the hell had Benji done? The man did not seem to move a muscle. Stacy felt a bit scared. I would too. I would too. Let's go to the next page. Come on. Without saying much, the man took Stacy inside, where he had a very sad-looking Benji locked in a cage. Stacy wanted to get angry at the man for locking this poor puppy up, but then he started explaining what happened. Everything soon would become clear. Let's go to the next page. Continue. Apparently, Benji had showed up earlier that day. The man had not seen any of the posters. He looked around for an owner, but he couldn't find anyone. He was going to call the shelter, as Benji was still wearing a collar with their number. Continue. We had Benji just walking around the house at the time, and he thought that he was dealing with a well-behaved puppy. But then his own cat came along to check out what was happening. Stacy already had a feeling what Benji could have done. Next. No! Still looking this up. Let's take loaded. Come on, load. Benji killed the cat. What do you think Benji did to the cat now? What do you think he does? He runs away for an hour away. Continue. Continue. Attacking the cat. Benji suddenly switched at that moment, attacking the man's cat. He reacted just in time to grab the dog before Benji was able to hurt the cat, who ran off immediately. The man instantly put Benji in his cat cage after that. He felt like it was the only way to keep his cat and Benji safe at the same time. Continue reading on the next page. Let's go. Load up. Then he called the shelter and explained exactly what had happened. After describing the dog, the shelter told him he needed to call Stacy as she would come to pick him up, and that's what happened. Luckily, Benji was not hurt. Continue. Missed call. When Stacy looked at her phone, she saw that she had multiple missed calls from the shelter. It was not possible to keep this secret anymore. She took a very sad Benji from the man and deeply apologized to him. She felt she had to explain herself to the shelter. He attacked the cat. I can't believe he attacked the cat. Next page. Let's go. I read it already. Hello. Thank you. Come on, continue. I never thought I'd see that word so much. Then she went back to the shelter with Benji. When she arrived, Stacy found out the other employees had already called a lot of previous owners of Benji to ask if they had similar experiences with Benji. The results of these calls were eye-opening. Come on, cat. Gonna wait for it to work. There we go. Every single one of the previous owners they contacted told them the same story. The actual reason they returned Benji was that he attacked another animal at some point. This made a whole lot of things clear. They finally found a good picture of Benji. What caused the behavior toward the other animals? We don't know. We're going to ask. Computer, why did Benji get returned? They had lied about it because they were afraid if they told the truth, Benji might be put down. They all loved that dog way too much to have that on their conscience. But to prevent it from happening again under their care, they all brought him back to the shelter. Aw. So then send him to a place without any freaking pets. We're continuing on the next page because it only gives you a paragraph to read. Help Benji. Now, under normal circumstances, Benji would have been labeled a dangerous animal and indeed would have been put down. But Stacy and the shelter were not going to let that happen. Now they finally knew what they were dealing with. They also knew they could help Benji. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, all right, all right, let's go. Benji was going to stay at the shelter for a couple weeks where they started to work on getting him to trust cats more. They were slowly introduced to Benji in a controlled environment. That wasn't easy because Benji did not want to cooperate at first. The shelter was persistent. Did this pay off? Come on, let's go, let's go. Phew. It was a difficult process, but eventually all the aggression Benji had toward cats was coached out of him, and he was given back to the care of Stacy and her family. They were glad they got Benji back. He was the dog they always wanted. They gave Benji a lot of love. He thanked them for it. Aw. Forever home. From that moment on, they had no problems with their new dog at all anymore. He became an addition to the family Stacy always knew he could be. Benji had finally found his forever home. No more shelters for Benji at this point. He had everything a dog ever wanted. Finally, we finished it. Amen. You know what it says, Kat? It says this story is a work of fiction created for entertainment. Characters and events are the products of the author's imagination. The images shown are for illustration only. What? I mean, that heart wrenching story about Benji being possibly put down in his fights with animals was just a made up thing? I spent 2 days on that, you son of a bitch. This is insane. I can't believe that. Random radio.